And as I previously stated, the method used to prevent any true connection from ever taking place has been through the manipulation of ego, or more correctly, the manipulation of false ego. The promotion of false ego within these movements has been done precisely by the exaltation of teachers and gurus within the movements. Rather than having forums where people meet to discuss ideas and connect with each other and discover new understandings, there are workshops where one pays to go to and to be part of an audience and to learn someone else's perspective, to learn someone else's understanding. People may do such workshops or some spiritualist class, and when it's done, they feel that now they've done a course, they have new powers, and they will proclaim themselves a healer, and they'll go and get a business card, much like someone who's done an IT course or has become proficient at fixing lawnmowers or TV sets. But there's a lot more to healing than doing a course. To heal, one must connect. One must connect with the source, and this connection is internal. In a course or a workshop, someone may offer their own personal understanding of how this connection may be achieved, but ultimately it is up to each individual to make the connection within themselves, within their hearts. The tools needed to make this connection completely are empathy and compassion, and it can never truly be made at all without first gaining an understanding of false ego. All these different understandings put forth by people should be looked at, and all should be considered, of course. But it's also important to acknowledge that each individual may have a slightly different interpretation of the same information. And this is how it should be, because each individual is an individual aspect, a different aspect of the conscious self. Don't follow leaders, folks. Don't succumb to groupthink. Don't follow me, folks. Don't even believe what I'm saying. Go and investigate things for yourself. Listen to your heart, because the field will speak to you and it will tell you what's right. Listen to your intuition, folks. Your intuition will always tell you what is right, because that is the field speaking to you. And to return to Albert Einstein again for a moment, in regard to knowledge and understanding, Einstein said that the only really valuable thing is intuition. And Alexis Carrel said that intuition comes very close to clairvoyance, and it appears to be the extrasensory perception of reality. Just think about that for a moment, folks. Think about those two quotes. Intuition appears to be the extrasensory perception of reality. This is the field talking to you. This is your link to the Creator. This is your link to the collective consciousness. Intuition. This is the field talking to you, and you speak back to the field through your emotion. And to interface the field directly and to connect with it and to receive information from it, your interface is empathy and compassion. In gaining true knowledge, in becoming one with the true self, in connecting with the conscious energy field that encompasses all things, in connecting with true reality, there is no teacher, there is no guru, no savior, there is only you. You are the teacher, you are the savior, the guru, you are the master, you are part of the self, the one true self that encompasses all things. You are the path to your own enlightenment. You are the master, and it is in understanding this, it is in understanding that your emotions are a language. Your emotions are the language that you use to talk to the surrounding field and the language that you use to create reality. It is in understanding this and in listening to your intuition, in listening and understanding the self, that the answers may be discovered and the key to freedom and peace may be found. This lies within each and every one of us. The only power that anybody has over any other person in this reality is the power that we choose to give them. Of course, there are exceptions to this. I point to situations like Gaza, the poor unfortunates incarcerated within our prison systems in places like Guantanamo Bay, and the inhabitants of war zones such as Iraq and Afghanistan. But on a social level, within our countries, within our societies, within the relationships we have with each other, within our neighbourhoods, within our school systems, within every aspect of our societies really, the only power that other people have over us individually is the power that we grant to them. And yet we are all as powerful as each other. The only reason there are even powerful people in the world is because we, the rest of the people in the world, have relinquished our power to these other individuals. This of course has been contrived that we would do this by certain wheels that were put in motion, but we have willingly done this, and the awakening that's taking place in the world today is a reclamation of that power. It's people beginning to understand that we don't have to hate each other, we don't have to have these wars, we don't have to have the world in anywhere near the situation it's in, we don't have to do any of this stuff. And the way to fix it is to connect with each other. To understand that we are the master of this reality. We are each the master of our own reality. And the way we create a good reality for ourselves is by centering ourselves in empathy and compassion. Because once we start doing that, and treating everybody around us in that manner, and treating ourselves in that manner, then the whole system breaks down. You imagine if every person on Earth simply started to interface the field using empathy and compassion. You imagine what would happen, folks. The entire world would change in 3 seconds. I've said this to you so many times, but we could literally change the world in 3 seconds simply by accessing these emotions, by accessing this energy and applying it to ourselves, applying it to each other, by connecting with the field, using these emotions, and by listening to our intuition when the field talks back to us. It should be the most obvious thing of all that the way to improve your own individual life is to improve the lives of those around you. It really is simple, folks. We waste so much energy on corporate business, on weapons manufacture, on the most ridiculous things, folks, when what we could be doing, quite simply, is providing for every man, every woman and every child on earth. We could be raising the standard of living for the entire human race. Raising the standard of living for the human race and eliminating poverty by eliminating a corrupt, privately run monetary system, by eliminating poverty and raising the standard of living for everybody. We would end all crime on the planet, we would end all war on the planet, we would end all the rivalry, all the destruction of the environment for profit. We've got so many other ways and better ways of doing things than what we do, than raping the planet the way we do. We could do all sorts of things simply by improving the standard of living for everybody. The easiest way to do that is to eliminate this monetary system and put in an honest monetary system, and to act always out of empathy and compassion. Acting in this way, acting in empathy and compassion in all that you do is, well, it's taking a stand for humanity, folks, and that's what it's time for us to do. It's time for us to take a stand for the well-being of our world. But as I've said to you before, for such a stand to be real, it needs to be a commitment that comes from our conscience. It needs to come from the deepest part of ourselves. There are a great many things that you can do to offset the situation that we're facing with the world today and to become a positive force in the world. And this is to strengthen yourself and to strengthen those around you. Strengthen those around you by always acting in empathy and compassion for these people. Understand the connection that you have. Resist the pacification that is presented to you by the TV. Understand your power. Any preparation and positive action must, of course, first begin with awareness and education. So it's imperative that you have an understanding of what you're dealing with. Look into some of the things that I talked to you about, and resist the influence that's presented to you by your newspapers and televisions. Resist the pacification program. Don't become listless and unresponsive to your knowledge, and always promote cooperation with others. Promote unity and integrity. Live your life in this way.